Thank you very much. After a rough game one, here we are in game two. Trent, do you believe in the Lone Druid, my friend?
Savage panel, going for the Savage Roar. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm down. You know, that nice range form, right? You heard Kat pointing out the Hurricane Pike. You're always looking for these 4 staff builders up against Clockwork. That's one way to do it. They definitely needed a little bit of damage right at the end there to follow up with like these roars. Maybe something aside from just this burst. Someone like Tim's with the ultimate. But if I'm being honest, I'm still favoring the VGJ draft overall.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe this could be a Shadow Fiend game, but the DP just feels so safe. We know how it works. It's great for sieging in the mid game and the late game. Smoke from VGJ Storm already up in enemy territory. But it doesn't look like they'll find much this time. Remember that last game started disastrous when they made this rotation. But TNC in a much different position this time, more centered around that bottom set of bounty.
Doesn't look like there's going to be anything too serious here.
To victory or peril.
Okay, so we'll just go for 2 for 2. But where are we now in terms of our heroes compared to last game? There is a return of somebody there, you see. It's MSS on the Nuggets.
Oh my. Yeah, I mean, as Cap pointed out at the end of the last game, potential MVP there. Pretty much a picture-perfect Naga Siren game. Not a moment when we could criticize any of those songs of the Sirens. Great setups with the Mirana. It's a tough hero to play against. The Monkey King, I guess, is really the X factor for VGJ Storm, like the panel was talking about, and they are going to do a little bit of lane trickery. Resolution will take the Monkey King mid to get that matchup against the DK, and now it seems it'll be an aggro try built around Yawar's Death Prophet up in the top as SVG makes that rotation on the Disruptor. So it will be a 3-on-1 against Raven, and likewise an aggro try in the bottom lane where they catch that initiation onto Snake King, and I think this is going to be your first blood. The follow-up Split Earth, locking him down low. Cogs not enough, and this time Sam H will be the one to strike first.
Yeah, they need this really heavy punish if this is what they're going to do. You heard the discussion about swapping out the DK. That's kind of what you would assume TNC would do, but instead they gave him the mid items, they sent RML in, and he's going to have to just play this matchup out, see if he can handle the Jingu Mastery here from Rezo.
Well, so far so good for RML. 7-0 compared to the 2-1 on Monkey King, though. There's this wave pushing in, and I imagine Resolution will be able to clean these up and level things out just a bit here. So keep tabs on that, but up top, VGJ seem committed to this, and the Clockwork will just head back down bottom. Raven not having a fun time here.
Which hero would you rather have pressured, your Clockwork or your Lone Druid? You know, like I feel like this trade is working out quite a bit better for VGJ Storm, and that's what forces the rotation from Cuckoo to be like, okay, we do actually need gold on Raven. We can't be right now Raven out there.
Has 0 last hits. There he gets his first one right now. So
easy.
Brutal start for this Lone Druid. And yeah, you're right about Clock. I mean, obviously Snake King would love to get some farm, but he's happy just getting experience. Just once that level 6 at a pretty timely manner, and then you can start moving around, opening up space for your other cores, and finding initiations with that hook shot.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the way they finished out the draft for VGJ Storm. I think they needed some sort of a mobile core, kind of go with the Clockwork. I think that's why the Lifesteal ban made sense. And
SVG goes down.
An easy one, but
he just got clipped by a stun there from Cuckoo.
Yeah, like there could have been infest bombs with the Clock. That's one way to do it, but instead they just go for the super high mobility. And it was a little bit of a tough pick, right? Because you're thinking about like Ember sort of heroes that would have been nice too, but you're up against the Lion, so Monkey was really solid.
Now mid, RML trading blows with Resolution, and it's not going to go the way that he wants as SVG rotates in. There's that Jingu Mastery. Even MSS joining the party with an ensnare. The DK falls. Rezo getting credit for that kill.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they can get anything done on the side lanes to punish too. You see 3 heroes mid. I mean, Snake King's playing aggressive in the bottom, despite the fact that they just showed 3 other heroes mid and there was no rotation.
Almost kills Tim's here. Gets him very low. Now the Hex comes out and Tim's will have to walk away, but they absolutely won't be able to find the counter kill on Snake King. Now back up top, stun onto Yawar, but no follow-up there. This Lash has been pretty on point with these split earths so far.
Yeah, and with him making that aggressive maneuver, the bottom just means like there was no counterplay possible, and yeah, the thing's still pretty tied there mid, but Snake King, like, there's no mana left on Sam H. He doesn't have the Soul Ring, so still just surviving down bot.
But let's take a moment here, Trent, and appreciate how well Sam H is doing this game compared to last game. He's actually got a lane. He's 20 and 12 on this Beastmaster. He's level 3. I think we can expect him to have a much better mid-game presence than that Axe in game number 1.
Yeah, he's been given a way better lane. Not even close.
But now back to the top lane. Big damage being traded back and forth, and the kill goes the way of Yawar as the Crypt Swarm will finish off Cuckoo. Now back down bottom, Snake King getting chased down, won't be able to survive that onslaught. They trade 1 for 1 around the map.
Yep, nice little pull there from Tims on the side. Kind of draws out the wave. Means Sneaking can't just hide under the tower, and they're able to go for the kill. So, again, yeah, Sam H just having a much easier time here.
Runes come out. And Tim's able to pick up a regen. Pretty nice for that Lion. He heads right back to lane, and they'll actually rotate one more down bottom. Snaking, again, very far forward in the lane. He will be punished. Raven on his way in. He secures the kill. 4-2. TNC strike once more.
Well, Sam H, I hope you enjoyed your 4 minutes. Now, we're taking over. Raven's turn in the easy lane. Sam H has to go find somewhere else to farm here.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said, you have to secure that lone druid farm. This is not a hero that plays well without farm. He needs a lot of space. He soaks up all those neutrals in the jungle in that mid game, and he has not been off to a good start.
Yeah.
Lesh is just holding the top for now, so they haven't actually moved out the Beastmaster yet. Seems pretty likely.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see the net worth distribution here because, yeah, as you said, Sam H is still bottom. He wanted to wait for the bounty runes for his ball and everything, but Cuckoo loves to play a bit greedy on this Leshrac. This has been, I would say, their best hero overall for the team. It's felt like lately it's just something they're very comfortable opening up with, and many games Cuckoo plays exceptionally well on it. He's very good at hitting the split earths, just opening a lot of damage in these games. So, yeah. If there's a hero that in this current patch I'm looking towards TNC winning games with, it is this Leshrac. You know, it used to be the TB, and you saw what happened last game. It's not really the flavor of the month anymore.
Exactly. TB, how the mighty have fallen, and about time. SVG stunned up down bottom, follow-up axes, now the right clicks, but a TP rotation from MSS not going to be enough to save his Disruptor. Maybe they can at least get a counter kill on Tims. Snaking now getting very low after securing that kill. Raven doesn't quite have it as the stick charges fly, and Snare used on Sam H. Axes, not quite enough as the Savage Roar comes out. I think Sam H could be done for, but uses that bottle. Has one stick charge left. MSS
Snaking has to be careful.
Well, he's going to find this kill, it looks like. Ensnare, Riptide, right click. It's a kill onto the Beastmaster. 4-5 as VGJ Storm react to that pressure down bottom.
And meanwhile, Reza was chased up top there, but he will escape with a Boundless Strike.
There's that Elder Dragon form debuted for the first time by Armel in the mid. It's been a pretty even mid lane. Monkey King is ahead in net worth by a couple hundred gold, but the CS is relatively even. Most of it just lopsided from that one death that Armel took earlier.
Yeah. Definitely comes back to the question, though, of like, who would you rather have this farm on, though?
Glimpse. Uh-oh, Raven, it's a 3-on-1. He's got no supports and nowhere to go. Kinetic Field and Cogs. The bear gets put in a cage and brought down. Cuckoo, however, finds a counter kill onto SVG. Obvious advantage for VGJ Storm trading support for core.
Yeah,
now back up top. Sam H, he gets brought down immediately.
And very nicely timed there from Rezo. He knows the DK ult is just ending on Armel. So even though he's gone, there's no real threat on his tower in the mid lane. He just dissipates in the ult right now, and he's back to just kind of right-clicking some creeps. So Rezo on point here. And again, who do you want this net worth on? A Monkey King or a Dragon Knight? You know, this feels so much better for Rezo. Easy game, gonna have a Battle Fury very quickly. Well set up here for VGJ Storm.
And Yawar's had a fine time on this Death Prophet. We have seen some of the off-lane Death Prophets struggle a little bit, especially in the early game compared to when you're in that mid-roll, the driver's seat. But he's right up there, number 3 on net worth, just barely behind the DK. And then you've got this Monkey King, who's king of the castle.
Yeah, they gave Yawar a lot of resources, too. Plenty of support help. Made it a very simple game for him, so they're able to now even pressure onto Armel.
Absolutely. No DK form, not much he can do. SVG with the Glimpse, Kinetic Field right into the Exorcism. That's a kill. Now on the other side, MSS as well as Resolution initiate onto Cuckoo. MSS getting pretty low, but able to survive through it. Tims now without some options. Neutral creep finishes off MSS, so no kill favoring TNC. A 1-for-3 technically, but huge advantage for Vici.
Yeah, these heroes are just all very much ready to go. This is level 5.5 Beastmaster. He's not coming to that fight. He's not going to have any impact. Look at the heroes on VGJ Storm. I mean, you have a Clockwork who's ready to go. Monkey King is A-okay with these early engagements, and a Death Prophet who had already popped Exorcism and now has a Haste Rune bottled up.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, very convenient. In fact, it'll be ready just as the Exorcism is coming back.
Well, now TNC will smoke up on Tims and Cuckoo right outside of their tier 3. Right now, just headed towards mid, maybe looking for a kill on Yawar, but with that Haste Rune, not your easiest target. What's the play here, boys?
Yeah, real tough. You're going for this before Tims has level 6. At 10 minutes, he does have enough experience now that by the time that the tome comes out, he will be 6, but going for a kill now just little bit more difficult. However, they're going to partner up here with Raven.
I mean, maybe they'll find Snake King. He is level 6, has a hook shot, but no real target to hook shot to defensively. Nice cogs to get things started with that Hellbear Smasher, playing some ring around the Rosie. Now the stun from the Lion connects, and they will secure this kill. So the smoke works out. Once more, Snake King ends up 6 feet under.
Yeah, not able to find any sort of an escape hook or something, and maybe just considering it not being worth it, wants to get the ball rolling, doesn't want to give up his cooldown, but...
And it's a tower for Raven, so a little bit of extra money going his way. Now the leading farmer on the Dire, but up top, Sam H, he's glimpsed. Kinetic fielded, a Primal Spring will land right on top, and oh, that monkey, he doesn't smell good.
They're just so clearly giving that kill over to Rezo as well. You saw both supports just completely stop. Have to time it there with a Thunderstrike, and Rezo building towards a Battle Fury, which... They would not have an answer for if they went for the ranged Lone Druid, and maybe that's partially why Raven feels the need to head in towards that Radiant. So they're going to have someone who kind of farms at that same pace, but that ranged Lone Druid that you're kind of expecting in terms of like the counters and how it would synergize with the rest of their draft will not be here.
All right, the long grind begins. The Helm of the Dominator secured, but hook shot on the other side. Snake King jumps in onto Cuckoo. Yawar's there to help follow up and make it an easy kill, but in comes Tims as well as Raven. Armel also not far behind. Yawar trying to make it up to the high ground and might get lucky here. Tangling Claws come. He's trying to Spirit Siphon back up, but it's not enough, and they will go 1 for 1. This time support for core favoring TNC.
They get one back on the eagerness of Clockwork to make use of his hero. Ends up costing them their death profit. So Tomes will come out now, though, and that means that we now have a game for MSS as well as Tims. I would assume he'll be the one to get it, as they'll both have their ultimates available. Disruptor and Naga basically at the same amount of XP, but that Song of the Siren just feels like your cherry on top in terms of breaking up these team fights. Mid-tier 1 taking a lot of damage. TNC will grab that uncontested. They did also lose their tier 1 in the top lane, where Resolution is just free farming away, but our eyes are down bottom as Snake King could fall victim to yet another gank. 2, 4, and 3 on this Clockwork. Setup from Tims leads into Cuckoo. That disco ball on the Lesh is firing. It's like the 70s all over again here, Trent, as they find yet another on the King. Yeah, and they're going to keep on pushing here, it looks like. See if they might want to make use of this Lone Druid. DKL coming up in 10 seconds. Now, they have used the Tome on SVG. So he's got the level 6.
So they went for the Static Storm.
Yeah, I think most teams, when you see the Naga Disruptor, they do tend to give it to the Disruptor first. I thought maybe in that specific situation it would have looked a little bit better just because of how they were balled up, but by the time the tower went down, no chance for a Song. So SVG is lurking in behind, maybe hoping to bait the Death Prophet into some sort of a play here. But we have the angle from the Clockwork. Things very dangerous for TNC in this engagement. Looking for that Monkey King ulti to come too. Rezo needs to start his TP if he wants to be here. He's going to come to the Shrine. There's the Exorcism. Hook shot actually off the mark from Snake King, but still walks right into Cuckoo. Song of the Siren does set things up, but the Static Storm was used. Not the choreography they wanted for VGJ Storm, and now Yawar will get brought down. They go 1 for 1. 2 for 2 even, as the Monkey King has already fallen. Yeah, Tim's caught them with a 2-man Earth Spike up there, able to help clean up. Oh, wow. They're going to grab Snake King as he gets left behind, and it's a pretty good fight for TNC. 1 for 3, and this will be a tier 2 tower going their way. Once that hook shot missed, it was a total disaster. Like, Tim's, he saw Rezo come in, hits them both with the Earth Spike, and there's a follow-up there from Cuckoo. Great communication between the supports. And, I mean, even before the missed hook shot, it was great positioning from Tim's. He saw that TP coming, was prepared and ready, and then hit him with that Hex as soon as he TP'd in, so they couldn't immediately hook shot. We'll see the replay come up right here. Yeah, this is the bottom half of the fight, of course, too. Just, the Song didn't really feel like it had an impact here. It didn't set up anything. It just instantly canceled, like, oh shit, this isn't what we want. And up top, you can see the 2-man Earth Spike right into Split Earth. Easy. Now, big play by Tims, keeping his team in this game. It's a 2K net worth lead now for TNC, as the momentum has shifted back into their favor, now about halfway to that Blink Dagger on the Lion. But from the perspective of VGJ Storm, of course, things don't really get rolling until that Battle Fury comes out on the Monkey King. Still a ways to go until that Demon Age gets finished up, but then Resolution will have that farming tool and also have a little bit more damage to bring fights. This is where the game gets a little bit awkward, though, as someone like Snake King, where you got the fight like it feels like you wanted, right? Because you're a core Clockwork, you're looking for engagements, that's kind of how you're going to farm, but it didn't go that well. And now you feel like, oh shit, can we like win these fights? And then you're saying to your teammates, yo, I can defend top, I'm here guys, I have hook shot. And everyone else on your team is like, oh, I need this item, I need this item, I'd like this item please. And then all you get is the creep waves. Kind of how it goes, you know?
Yeah, it's been kind of a topsy-turvy game for this Clockwork. 3, 6, and 3. Been involved in some kills, but also taken a lot of deaths a bit prematurely in these rotations. Tier 1 tower up top, finished off by TNC. They're going to use this DK Lone Druid duo on top of the Edict to chew through these towers. Glyph used by VGJ Storm. Looks like they are just split, trying to push themselves mid and bottom, but don't know if this will be a successful trade. There's just so much tower sieging potential on TNC. It's even just a level 1 Edict, but that's enough to cut right through it.
Bottom did not go so well. I mean, that thing was just tickled. So,
Yep, and mid, it gets down to about half HP, but not too scary. Yawar hanging on to the Exorcism for now.
The Radiant scanning. Roche is kind of worried, looking for those natural rotations. Okay, well, you took a tier 1, you took a tier 2.
Snaking, he's going to walk a bit too far forward, and it's a 1-on-4. Not really sure what the game plan was there.
Thought they'd rotate it back to their side, which makes sense. There was no objective left there, you know?
They were a step ahead, Trent. They knew. They're like, guys, this Clockwork, he's desperate. We've killed him enough times. He's going to come up for this farm. Just be patient. They saw it.
Fair enough. Now, in the meantime, Rezo did kind of get a little bit of like backstab action going on, cleared up some waves. They pushed that tower in the top. It's actually within deny range there. Him's hesitating a bit to actually deny it, though.
Well, he's just going to walk away. They do still have that shrine, so in terms of access point, not really high priority.
But yeah, back we go to Battle Fury Gaming. Had to store their hope. I mean, at the same time, the Yule Scepter for UR is also pretty big deal. Snaking.
Shot, okay.
Yeah, creeps in the way there, hitting the catapult. Didn't have an angle, tried to cancel TP.
It's a tough one. Miss all the shots you don't take there. Cuckoo with the tip. Oh.
Very nice. That's a solid use right there.
Poor guy.
Their own toolkit's starting to come online, though. Blink Dagger done for Armel on the Dragon Knight, so if he can catch out the DP before this Yules, obviously very handy.
Yep, Blink Drum, so going for some extra stats, movement speed there. Try to survive in these team fights. TNC definitely looking a lot better this game than last, maintaining some control as this laning stage is broken down. The Lone Druid getting pretty close to Radiance. I think he's already picked up the recipe, 3,200 gold towards the Relic. Now they get the Solar Crest out on the Beastmaster as well. Did not go for the Shadow Blade. We've seen this like Medallion, Shadow Blade, then back for the Solar Crest. But this game, Sam H opting right for that upgrade.
Just so much physical damage coming out from VGJ Storm between the Monkey King and the Death Prophet. Yes, the 3-4-5 is largely magical, but in terms of that 1 and 2 from Rezo and Yawar, you're just taking away so much of the Solar Crest here.
Oh, glimpse onto Cuckoo. No hook shot needed, also not available. Lesh gets brought down. Coming up in just a couple seconds there.
There you go. Yeah. He's there for the follow-up. But yeah, into the tower they go. Still not really feeling the need for the Exorcism. They'll hold out.
Just chipping at that tier 1. Sam H does have an Arcane Rune on right now, so great time to use that Primal Roar. Also makes the Wild Axes actually do a lot more damage.
Oh, I think Rezo's going to sneak his way to that tier 2 as well up top. If they can keep that attention and he can just get this wave a little bit close, then that's going to go down. No, that's attention.
Whoa, the initiation onto Yawar. Song of the Siren comes out a little bit late, and the finger will just finish him off. Buyback, though, used by Yawar. Static Storm Kinetic Field onto Sam H. Cuckoo gets glimpsed back into oblivion, and the Beastmaster actually still surviving. Clockwork goes down. Rezo finished off the tower, and now he's making the rotation from the backside. Snake King now buying back. They deploy the Exorcism. Boundless Strike connects on Sam H. And Monkey King will tree dance away, rather.
Yeah, Rezo just kind of like runs his way over, too. He's taking so long, like jumping or anything like that. So not there in time for any sort of the engagement.
Kind of peculiar. So 2 buybacks used by VGJ Storm at 17 minutes. Not a big expenditure, so you don't want to read into it too much. Maybe hoping that TNC would commit a bit more, but at the end, they pretty much just get the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, they did get that tier 2 top as well, just because of the way the creep pushed in. So overall, decent gains here for the side of VGJ Storm. But yeah, I think if you're on TNC's side, you're feeling relatively fine about this. Looking for the next DK Ultimate, looking for the Radiance on the Bear. There it is. And let's play around it.
Yep, certainly where things get a little easier for the Dire. Monkey King does have that Battle Fury now with BKB queued up next. Already has the Ogre Club. Interesting to see Cuckoo here going Bloodstone. First item, at least. That's what he's got queued up already with the Perseverance.
Yeah, this guy's an animal.
Yes, literally.
Is he? Is that a deer?
Lesh is some sort of goat creature. I'm not sure
he's
exactly.
He's a goat deer man. I don't know why he's a deer.
He's the keeper of the grove, Trent. That's
keeper
really
of the goat grove. Got it. SVG on the run, taken
He's
down.
keeper of the graveyard right now. He gets sent back.
I think that's a gravekeeper. They have a word for that. You don't gotta make up your own. You don't gotta be all fancy.
Well played, sir.
All right, but MSS, he does have this key item once again in the Meteor Hammer, and currently the BKBs on the side of the Dire.
I think the
nothing all too
Bassi is
threatening.
really the key item with the Meteor Hammer.
It makes it very easy peasy, but they have no way to stop it. If he gets the song off, if you're clumped up, you're going to get punished.
Yeah, absolutely. And then speaking of punish, Yawar maybe in some trouble. He does get the silence onto Lion, but Savage Roar rather is there. And Yawar does end up getting brought down. It was a noble effort. Unfortunately, not going to survive.
No, solid attempt there. If only he had gotten the main hero as well there. Wouldn't have been a roar, but...
Okay. TNC absolutely hanging in and doing a great job managing their economy. They've got heroes just farming all throughout the jungle. Sam H and Cuckoo actually getting a lot of income.
Yeah, actually just looking so much better this game, too. I mean, it helps when all three of your core players feel like they're involved in the game. I really do think like they just did not set up Sam H whatsoever.
Yeah.
Sure, Tim's got some stuff going, but then there was just no one for him to play around either. This game, much more sacrificial onto Tim's. He's just kind of struggling his way towards the Blink Dagger, but you've seen how much they've given over to Cuckoo on the Slash Rack. Playing this this whole idea of net worth distribution, always very important for TNC. We always have like the super strong dual core, and then everyone else just kind of in behind. I like in this one how it's kind of like a set of pairings. It's like, yeah, you got a 1 and a 2, you got a 3 and a 4 kind of next to each other, but they're much more elevated. You know, this isn't like last game where Sam H and Tim's were like together but down.
Absolutely. Mid-tier 2 tower taking a lot of damage. Up top, Tim's has made a rotation to try to push back this Monkey King.
They have a ward there.
Does have an invisibility rune. Yeah, the Tinker Ward on the high ground. Not going to be enough. Resolution just a little too sneaky with that tree dance. What a hero.
Yeah, he's gone for the talent. So he's just all split push this game.
Okay.
It is completely ridiculous.
Plus 600 tree dance cast rate. That's pretty darn good.
This was supposed to bring back the support Monkey King, guys. Didn't happen.
Here it's bringing back our core Monkey King. Right now, VGJ smoked up, perhaps looking to take a fight. They do have all of those ultimates available. That is one thing I feel like we haven't talked about very much, but VGJ Storm, very cooldown reliant. A lot of big ultimates. If they have those available, expect them to take a team fight. If not, expect them to be playing a lot more defensive.
Well, currently Rezo's been playing this like sort of split push sort of a game, so
haven't even seen a Wukong yet.
Yeah, no, and they're trying to bait this out and say like, oh, he's just split pushing, he's doing his thing, like he's trying to kind of hide, but now they're making it, it seems a little bit more apparent that he's got some backup there as the Naga illusion will push through past the wave as well. And they'll scout their way down to the Roche Pit. Currently just some sneaky heroes around here, still smoked up under that Radiant Ward.
Smoke action from TNC. Just notice that hideous cosmetic on the Beastmaster, those little boars, like the little dinosaur Tremors boar.
Beautiful.
Might be one of my least favorite. It's hideous, dude. Look at it. What is it? Literally, what is it?
It's a boar. I mean, it's highlighted. I don't know.
It's a boar with 2 legs.
Tell you.
Ah, yes. I've seen many of those in my day at the zoo. Double damage rune. Going to be picked up by Armel here. His BKB very close on this Dragon Knight. It's about 500 off the recipe.
Yeah, picks it up with his ult. He's just a little bit worried there, it seems.
Game of chicken here across the river. VGJ staying in enemy territory, and now TNC pushing up pretty far. Trying to decide what they want to do here. That bear going to be able to defend the creeps up top. And just like that, VGJ split their ways. They all move into the trees and TP home. And TNC will back up, kind of posturing like they're moving towards the Roche Pit, but there is a Naga illusion in there, so they will be privy if that's the case. And indeed, TNC just head back to their jungle for a little bit of farm.
Well, overall, it's a completely different game from last game, but also a somewhat similar game. Very quiet.
Yeah.
Feels like we just got a lot of wandering around, dodging each other. But this time we have a very competitive game, as we've been saying lately here at the Supermajor. Things that we're looking for.
Yep. And again, worth reiterating, this is lower bracket, right? Elimination here. So both teams playing very safe. VGJ Storm, nothing insurmountable. I mean, 6K net worth, 23 minutes. It hurts, but they've still got a lot of good team fight, and I think TNC are really respecting that.
Yeah, exactly. It's one Naga song away from you just being completely even once again. And that's a 10-second BKB on the Monkey King and an Echo Saber almost complete. I would be a little concerned about taking these battles from the Dire side. Next battle, very important too. You have your 10-second BKB on the Dragonite, and you also have that Bloodstone done on Cuckoo, so you really don't want to lose any of these Bloodstone charges, and you also want to gain stuff. You want to try and get up to 16, 17, 18. And
yeah. Always feels like a bit of a risky build to go like this. Brown Boots into Bloodstone. If you get those first kills or win that first team fight, it feels incredible. But if you lose that first team fight, if you get ganked again after that first team fight, it feels maybe not like a wasted item, but a pretty big sunk cost. It's an expensive paperweight you got there.
Yeah, it's very terrifying. They're going to go in for the Roach Pit. Now this is up against the Clockwork. They know the threat of the vision of the Flare.
And I think VGJ Storm are going to be able to get here in time. Roche falling reasonably fast, but there's the Rocket Flare.
They're blocking with the Wolf.
It's not going to be enough, though. The Primal Spring, the Song of the Siren, BKB gets used. Roche still pretty healthy, but they're going to set this up. The Wukong's command, the Static Storm, the Kinetic Field, and the damage is there. Cuckoo's going down fast. DK pops his BKB. They've lost the Disruptor as well. He'll buy back. VGJ Storm still hanging in there, and it seems like Armel is going to have to back up, but Samay on the backside, roar onto the Monkey King. Rezo's getting low and gets finished off by a Breathe Fire. VGJ in big trouble. Buyback now used by the Naga Siren. They've already lost 5 and make it 6 as the Disruptor dies back. Roche going the way of the Dire. Aegis for Armel. One hell of a team fight for TNC.
Yeah, it kind of looked like good initiation with the song, but they didn't get that like perfect follow-up. The BKB was used early from the Monkey King, so half of the duration was used during the actual song itself. And the hookshot wasn't used on that initial initiation either, so things are a little bit awkward. And once Cuckoo's able to get back to the Bloodstone, he's helping to push down these towers.
Glyph's already been used. Tier 3 mid gets chewed through, and this is the power of the lone Druid. You win a fight, and you can go right up to the enemy high ground. Melee barracks mid, taking a lot of damage, but respawn's pretty short for VGJ. TNC will not overstay their welcome, and once that melee falls, they get the hell out of Dodge.
Melee barracks, 25 minutes here.
14K net worth as well. Cuckoo on the high ground. Looking for a stun, but not going to go for it. BKB now from Resolution up top. Creating some right clicks with Armel. Does have some teammates nearby, but Primal Roar. Follow-up not quite going to be there because of the BKBs. Armel, he'll use his magic immunity as he goes in deep. They want Rezo here, and they might just find him. Cuckoo sets it up and brings him down. Buyback available, but the Clockwork now in trouble. Yawar, BKB on. He does not have an Exorcism, and this is looking bad for VGJ. They've lost SVG, limited buybacks. Rezo decides to use his MSS with the Meteor Hammer, but Clockwork could be a dieback here as he uses the point-blank hook shot. Off to the side, Monkey King gets stunned as the trees get killed. Cuckoo is an absolute monster, and just like that, VGJ Storm tap out in 26 short minutes. Ultra kill for Armel, and TNC hang on to their tournament life.
We find ourselves in a second straight game of very tense, slow movements across the map where it feels like one team just doesn't quite know what the answer is.
Yeah.
And this time it was sort of VGJ Storm who were wondering. I feel like they had a better idea of what they had to do. They were looking for that one big team fight, and they were gifted it. You know, that's one of those situations where you kind of look at a team like TNC and say, like, just don't give them that big team fight, and the game's going to be good.
Yeah.
But instead, we end up at this Roche Pit. That song is there from MSS, and you're like, here it is, the big turnaround for VGJ Storm, exactly what you expect, and it just didn't go the